I'm just going to read the bio for our wonderful guest and Sister Destiny. Thank you so much for granting us the opportunity to interview you and hear your fabulous works. So I'm just going to read from what you just said. It says, whether interpreting jazz standards or her original tunes, Mohammed turns every piece into a soulful adventure. Yerba Buena Gardens Festival, while certainly inspired by Alice Coltrane, Mohammed brings her own unique touch to the strings, as well as a contemporary melodic style that is exciting, whether she is working solo or accompanied. And that's Denise Sullivan at Downbeat magazine. Destiny Mohammed is a masterful exploratory musician, sfjazz.org. Destiny Mohammed is a recording, performing artist, band leader, a composer, and producer. Her genre, Celtic, sometimes I think that's pronounced Celtic too. Celtic to Coltrane is cool and eclectic, with a feel of jazz and storytelling to round out the sonic experience. Destiny has curated concerts for Grace Cathedral, Christmas Concert Series, SF Tribute to Jazz Harpist legend Alice Coltrane, SF Symphony Soundbox Series featured guests for Grammy winner Kanye West, Sunday Service, shared the stage with jazz masters Marcus Shelby, Omar Sosa, Blue Note artist Ambrosia, I know I'm going to mess that name up, Akis Murray, and Asar Lawrence, to name a few. She has headlined the Harrodsburg Jazz Festival, Sunday in the Redwood Concert, Seattle's Fest, Sundiata, Butcher. I mean, she's just done everything. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others the fabulous Destiny Mohammed.
Thank you so much, fam. It's so good to see you all in this virtual space, tuning in from everywhere. Oh my goodness. I'm going to probably play about 3 songs back to back in a segue. The first is going to be a medley. Well, I'll call them, it'll be a medley of 3 songs. The first I like to start out as a prayer, which is a prayer of Jabez, and I'll do it instrumentally. That will segue into a European classical piece that's called Ariam mio tesoro, an Italian word that means taking a walk. And one particular reason why I enjoy to play that piece is because I think of my folks when slavery, I don't want to say that it ended, but when they said they were done, they took a walk and come up out of there. And then the third piece, I'm not going to tell you what it is because you're going to know what it is. Is that all right?
All right. All right. Wow. KKSF. All right. I want to just say that Destiny is also Governor Emeritus and Educational Chair Emeritus of the Recording Academy, ASCAP, um, Songwriter Awardee, California Entertainers, Music Awards, Female Jazz Artist of the Year. Beautiful, and she's correct. We did recognize the last song. You didn't have to tell us. And someone put in the chat, we need to have that at the end of our service. We need to get a recording of that to play at the end of our service, because we always end our worship service with Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yay.
So give thanks for that. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Wow. I am the daughter of ancestors Marva Vianne Colette Butler Lewis O. My mother liked to get married. And the daughter of Charles Raymond Lewis, retired Navy man. The granddaughter of Helen Ann Butler Morris, James Butler Morris, Mildred Lewis, Roy Lewis, and my great-grandparents, the Mr. and Mr. Morris. From that point, I don't know where the rest of my family comes from. I know Louisiana made their way into Los Angeles. I am of that lineage of Louisiana, Wisconsin folks. I don't know how that Wisconsin gets in there, don't ask me, but my daddy's from there. And the family made their way to Compton, California, where that family, my Lewis family, still owns a home there in Compton.
Wow.
I'm the firstborn of 3 little girls. My mother's been an ancestor, as I mentioned, since 1998. My father, since 2012, he joined the ancestors one day before his birthday in February. Mm. And so I moved to the Bay Area in 1994, October of 1994, ready to spread my wings and explore my harp dream. Who am I? Offspring of the infinite, crazy little hood honey that plays the harp, and not giving up my hood cred at all.
Now, Destiny, did you play an instrument before you took up the harp? Did you play any other instruments before you took up the harp?
So this what had happened.
Mm-hmm. What had happened?
What had happened was I attempted to play violin, and my folks said, you know what? Put that down. Put it down. And I attempted to play piano. They said, that's a little bit better, but don't do that either. So I'm a pretty sensitive child, and I didn't say anything about it. So I went to high school, as I shared with you. Well, I didn't share that with you, but I would tell you that we moved from Compton to a little town called San Pedro, which is just south. If any of y'all who know San Pedro, SoCal, yes, you probably know Long Beach better. Yes. And so we moved to San Pedro, living in the projects in Pedro. And I sang my way through 4 years of high school. I bused myself in the late 70s, early 80s to Torrance High School, which was a city about 2 cities away from us. And I sang my way through 4 years of high school. Attempted those 2 instruments. My folks said, put it down. When I sang out of high school, we were still living in the hood, and I was concerned about my younger sisters and my mom, and I went to school and became a barber and got my barber's license.
Wow. So, I read somewhere when I was that you started later in life on the harp. What caused you to, what attracted you to the harp? How did you?
Yes, I lived in Compton by way of Okinawa. So my father's in the military, so I'm a squid kid, and we moved from Okinawa back to the United States to Compton. My parents divorced, And my mother's trying to figure out how she was going to raise three little girls. And we stayed with my aunt in Compton on a little street called Arbutus Street. She had a cute little house, and in that house was a den. And any of you who were born during that time, 60s, 70s, knowing children were seen and not heard. The parents sent us, auntie and mom sent us to the den to go watch I Love Lucy. And here was Harpo Marx
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
on I Love Lucy playing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I said, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. Now I'm 9, and I said, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. So I run to go tell my mom I want to play the harp. And any distressed black mother during that time yelled a few explicits at me and told me to shut up. So I didn't say anything else about it again, but that's what I want to do. So we flash forward 21 years later, at the age of 30, I owned this barber shop in San Pedro, up the street from the Catalina terminal, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be a barber. I'm making money. I'm cutting hairs. It's the height of the crack cocaine and the height of the curl epidemic because everybody was sporting curls at that
Sure.
time.
Sure.
I figured that's what I was going to do. And I started dating a man whose best friend is a harp builder in a little town here in the Bay Area, a little town called San Juan Bautista. And I get my first harp from him at the age of 30 in 1992. And in May of this year, it'll be 30 years that I've been playing.
My goodness. So did you take lessons? Did you teach yourself how to play? It just came to you, the spirit? How'd that happen?
I think the spirit was waiting.
Uh-huh.
And I did get a teacher for the first month of May. The first like 31 days, I did this every day. I get up every morning and do that before I went to go to my barber shop. I said, I think I need to get a teacher. Because that was fun, but I really wanted to be able to do something. And so I got a teacher. I went to a Long Beach, as I shared, is not too far from San Pedro, like about 10 minutes with a little bridge. And so I was in Long Beach, and there is a place called, it's called World of Strings. And I went in and I said, hi, y'all know anybody who teaches harp? They said, we got just the person. And they whipped out their Rolodex.
Wow. I don't know what that is.
Right? Oh my gosh. And I started taking lessons with a woman by the name of Paula St. John in Long Beach at 7 a.m. in the morning or every Thursday before I had to open my barbershop up at 9 a.m. And then I found another woman a little bit closer to me in Palos Verdes. This is just in the hills of San Pedro. And I started taking lessons from her because she was slightly closer in Palos Verdes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday afternoon. I would take lessons from her and then just extend my hours at my barber shop to make up for that lost monies.
Sure. Oh man. Well, it's certainly a worthwhile journey because you bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people that have heard you play, and they're just as positive as you are on you. A question just jumped out of my head, but I don't want to just hog it. Is there anyone? So I see Mama Fania has her hand up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mama Fania.
Hello, Sister Destiny. How are you? Good. I came in a little late, so I don't know if you, one, gave a history of the harp, and then two, I wanted to relay a incident. Well, I wouldn't call it an incident, but anyway, a few years ago when you were doing your birthday program in November at Malanga, and a colleague of mine and his wife came to the show, and they had only intended to stay for maybe half the show, and then they had plans to go to see a movie. Well, so I saw him at the beginning of the show, and then I looked up, and he and his wife were still there at the end of the show. And he explained that, they had planned to leave about halfway through the show, but it was so good, and they were, just enjoying the music that they stayed through the whole show and
Oh
forgot
my
about the movie.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I hope they hadn't bought
You were
tickets
that
for the
good.
movie.
You
God
were
is
that
good.
good.
Oh,
And then some.
thank you so much, Sister Fania. Sister Fania has been a destiny advocate. Oh my gosh, she's spoiling me. Thank you.
So now, how you were inspired? I'm just gonna jump out and you were inspired by Alice Coltrane, right? Were you inspired?
So I was inspired by Alice, and I will share with you the way that I was first inspired by her. There was a picture of her at a bookstore in Los Angeles called the Bodhi Tree Bookstore, which has since now went on to an online presence. And my mother would take us to this bookstore because the Bodhi Tree had a variety of books on spirituality and such. And in the Eastern philosophy section of the bookstore, there was a picture of Alice, Turiya Sangeetananda, that led into that side. And it was her in this position. I would stop and look at that picture every time before I ventured into that place. And I was like, why am I looking at this woman? Because I don't know her, but I'm taken by her. Then we fast forward, it's 94 and I'm moving to the Bay Area, and my boyfriend at the time, not my wonderful husband, he has this friend that he's going to go work for, and he says, my girlfriend play harp, and I had only been playing for like about 3 years, and when you're new like that, since I was like, oh, don't say that yet. And the man was a tall man and one of those jazz aficionados who've been listening to jazz since dirt got dirty but can't play nothing but the radio. And he looks down at me with this look, and Turi is on the radio playing Blue Now, and he listens. He said, you hear that? If you can't play like that, you can't play.
Mm.
And I was like, well, damn, I can't play. So she was there, and I'm listening to her, this pentatonic empress, just glisten away and doing this thing, and Pharoah Saunders is tearing it up, and I think was it Joe Henderson? I think it was Joe Henderson on Blue Now. And I'm like, well, shoot, no, I can't play like that. At least we fast forward to 2017. I've been playing a while, and I'm kind of feeling myself a little bit. And it's 2016 rather, and I get an email from SF Jazz, and they said, would you be interested in doing a tribute to Alice Coltrane in January of 2017, which will be the 10th anniversary of her ascension? Who says no to that? That was in May of 2016, which gave me a whole 6-8 months or so to really just sit with her music and just really vibe Alice. And they were specific. SF Jazz was specific in asking me to curate her Journey into Satyananda album. If any of you are familiar with that particular LP, that is the one that just kind of psh. I sat with that. I let her speak to me, and I'm talking to the spirit of Alice. And there's a little statuette, if you will, of Ganesh, the elephant. That's the spirit of abundance. And I'm sitting here and I'm talking to Turi, and I'm saying, how you want me to do this? How would you like to do this? Is this okay? Are you this okay? And I'm feeling some things out. I swear on everything I love. It was like she was saying, yeah, it is. And the little elephant fell off.
Wow.
So
Wow.
when it was finally time to give the concert at SF Jazz, it was sold out. And we had the Joe Henderson room, which is a smaller room, but I love that little room because it's glass. It's right on the corner. It's like a little glass house. The folks that went to the concert on the inside, which seats 700 people, were trying to get in.
Wow.
to hear that concert. And since that time, I think I have done about 5 tributes to Turiya Sangeetananda of that same. I think I changed a little bit of it because I also wanted to show the relationship between her and the new ancestor McCoy Tyner, who it is said she replaced when he ventured off and became his own entity on Blue Note.
My goodness. Well, that is quite a journey, and we're going to ask you to play some of that. But before you do that, we have a question from Sister Ikena. Go ahead, Sister Ikena.
Okay. Greetings again, beautiful Queen Destiny. I wanted to know about how you decided to incorporate the storytelling and the poetry into playing. That was such a wonderful treat every time we see you and hear you. But when did that come about and why?
You, girl, I think I had started doing portions of it early, but it was just little snippets of it. And then I went back in time to that year in 1970 when I was 9 years old. And it brought up all kind of emotion and stories. One of the things, I don't use the word poor, but when the funds are at minimalist, mamas get creative. you know
Yes.
and my mother was trying to figure out how not only to take care of three little girls, but also how to entertain us. And so I started to venture back in time to that time in Compton, which seemed to be rich with the birth of the black, for at least for me, the black birth of the black movement, being surrounded by folks who looked like me, because being a military brat, most of the time folks didn't look like us, and just feeling that time. And so Crystal and I decided we would do something called story time. And I started to go back into that time that was rich to me with stories there, and started to tell the stories that were happening for me at that time. And telling the story of Miss Joy, who owned a secondhand store around the corner from where we lived in Compton, telling stories of gentrification in Compton and how black folks get creative, and make $1 out of 15 cents. These things were they felt very natural. The music and the storytelling just felt very natural to me. And so it's interesting because there's a brother here that I did a rehearsal with earlier, and he doesn't edit when the poetry comes through. He just allows it to come through. If you're familiar with Brother Tongo, Essie and Martin, it feels natural, and it feels like if I cut it off, that spirit is like, I wasn't finished yet. So I can't really say when it happened. I felt like it was waiting for me to be ready. And then it would kind of tap me and say, we need to hear something from you. We want to hear a little story from you. I have so many stories. So during the pandemic, one of the things that happened is everybody was locked up, us and you. And so I was here in this space with my beautiful husband and determining what was going to happen for us, and deciding that I needed to write some music and also learn how to navigate online with music as well. And then that spirit of Alice, came on me, but she said, but don't leave my husband out of it either. So this song I wrote for the Coltranes. And for any of you who have been John and Alice Coltrane fans or family, I don't know if you're aware that his sound on the saxophone was called sheets of sound, and he literally was trying to imitate this sound on saxophone. That's what he was trying to do on saxophone. And Alice, of course, shoot. So this song is to the Coltranes. It's called Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound, the sound of Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound, it's Coltrane. Oh, you hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound, it is Coltrane. Oh, Coltrane, train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane, train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane, train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane, Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Oh, you hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Oh, you hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Ah, Coltrane, train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane, Coltrane. Hear the sheets of sound. Ah, you hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. You hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Oh, hear the sheets of sound, Coltrane. Ah, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming, train coming, Coltrane. Train coming, train coming. You gotta catch the Coltrane. I gotta catch the Coltrane. Oh, Coltrane, yeah, Coltrane, 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 Coltrane.
Oh my. Beautiful, beautiful. Are there any other questions? I don't want to hog it all.
I know,
Any
because
other
you're gritty.
Any other questions for Sister Destiny?
I don't have a question, but I do. I didn't know her association with Alice, but you know, these are albums I've been carrying around for 30 years. I got one box of albums.
Man,
Just
you got that
free.
El Pat, you got the El Pat, you got the Patah, the El Daoud. Come on
Yes.
now. Woo!
Yes, yes. Oh, you're awesome.
Oh, God is the greatest, man. I'm just trying to complete my assignment. I still got work to do. You do too. You do too. Come on, questions. Questions. Come on, y'all got me here.
So now, have you seen pictures of the harp in ancient Kemet? Have you seen those?
Yes, and I was blessed not just once but twice to do a presentation on Harp Origin, and it was really a snapshot of Harp Origin, but they're the oldest harps, even by historians who are of a lighter melanated color than we are.
Mm-hmm.
Even attest that the oldest ones come, the origin comes off of the continent of Kemet, known by the rest of the world as Africa. The oldest ones, the original ones, come from there, and that their way of making their way off of the continent was by those who had been invited to the continent to study the sciences, the spirituality. They brought it off of the continent by way of our other family of people, even the hard-headed ones. We know they still family, but their heads is cast iron. But this is, and so I was blessed to be able to show those origins, and also perhaps at another time I'll bring the slides that I was able to bring. But the old, some of the folks that are still playing the oldest version of it, if you will, that's closely related to the core, which is of the same family, are in the Congo. And I apologize, I've forgotten the name of these people, but they are closely related to the Twa. And they actually, the men are playing this oldest version of what we call the harp today. And they decorate their faces, and they're taught this tonality and song. The women, they accompany and sing, and they, I want to say monthly, they go to the forest and they're singing songs literally of apology for any decimation that they may be doing. They actually ask for forgiveness. And this instrument is how they do it. And this particular video that I have in the Congo of this man, he is singing. If you hear his voice, it literally sounds like our blues singers here. And his way of playing is akin to that of someone playing the drum. It's very percussive. So you've got his voice and this very percussive sound on the harp, and he is singing the songs that they have to they call it the ferment, not just the forest.
You know, I'm glad you pointed that out. Yes, they ask for forgiveness if they have to cut down a tree,
Yes.
or if they have to even killing an animal, they ask for forgiveness for that. I see Mama Akanke has her hand up. Go ahead, Mama Akanke.
Hi, Destiny.
Hey, sweetness. God bless you. How you doing? What you doing? Where you at?
I'm at Iliomo Day.
All right now. What's going on?
Everything. But I wanted to ask you, since I'm here with all these children,
Yes.
do you have any children that have come to you interested in learning the harp?
It is very interesting that you should ask just that question. So what had happened was, I have a situation that's happening that as soon as the ink is dry, I can reveal more of it. However, this much I will share with you. 2 Mondays ago, I was invited by SF Jazz to curate their very first free jam session at SF Jazz. They hadn't ever done that before. And so who came was an 8-year-old girl by the name of Jordan with her harp. So yes, and I'll just say this, there's more coming.
Wow. Wow. Are you saying that you're a female harpo that's inspiring others to come?
Yes.
Give thanks. Sister Judy has a question. Go ahead, Sister Judy.
Maybe she changed
Hi,
it.
Destiny. Oh my goodness, you are so talented.
God is
Your music
nice.
is just so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm in Atlanta, and I was going to have my 8-month-old here. She's been watching you, my granddaughter. She wants to play too, so
Yes.
I'm working on that. I was going to say also, I played a string instrument growing up, and that was the cello. I was, and we had to pluck in, of course, you know, we used a bow. Do you use some kind of pick or can you play? I wasn't able to see up close. If you're playing all the time with your fingers, or do you also use a pick?
Beautiful question. That is a really beautiful question. In the when the harp made its way into the British Isles, known as Scotland and Ireland, the folks changed. They changed the name, if you will, to the name harp, which means a wooden, three-sided wooden instrument that's plucked with the fingers, or plectrums. And so we would see these there. On some of them, they would have the equivalent of picks on their fingers, and they would play the strings with these picks, which, if you see any koto players, they're plucking with those plectrums or picks on their fingers. And if you are familiar with my folks in Paraguay or in Veracruz, both where we know the heads of us are, those folks still continue in that vein with those plectrums, or they'll actually have acrylic fingernails placed on their fingernails, because there is a particular sound that they're looking for that is intrinsic to that area. Beautiful
Wow.
question.
That's interesting. Also, as you were talking and you were about to share about these other cultures, it popped into my mind. Has anyone ever played with their toes?
I don't know that.
Okay. I don't know. I was just thinking that sounds, people are so, I guess, ambidextrous as too. But the only second part to my question, I have a friend, one of my best friends who lives in Maryland. Her daughter is becoming very famous for her harp playing. Her name is Madison. Have you heard anything about her? She's been on To Tell the Truth and the Grammys with Beyonce this last Grammys. And yes, okay. You're familiar with her?
I've seen her on Instagram. I don't know her yet, but I have seen her on Instagram. Yes.
Wow, I'll have to tell her about you, and hopefully you all get a chance to connect and she can be inspired even more with your beautiful playing.
Thank you so much. I've watched her and she seems to be doing very well. She had a connection with a celebrity of two that actually helped to push her in a more celebrity status. So we're always grateful when we can make that happen.
Okay, yes, and thank you very much. That ends my questions. Thank
you
you.
so
I
much.
loved your performance.
Thank you
Performances.
so much.
You know, what's remarkable is with the up close, I can see the strings continue to vibrate.
Yes.
And I can see them as you're getting up at the high end. The other longer strings are just vibrating and I'm watching. Yeah. So this type of presentation just brings out a different feature in the harp. Because normally you're way off.
Well, usually we're probably 30 to 40 feet away, so folks get a chance to experience us but not see the instrument itself up close. I think there are many beautiful things that have happened during this shelter in place. And I think one of that is the ability to actually to come into the homes of folk and to be able to share with them the music and the instrumentation and have them feel like they're right in the house with us.
I see Sister Judy has her hand up again. Go ahead, Sister Judy.
Okay, I love music. I play the piano as well. I was going to say, and I'm babysitting tonight, so I didn't hear all of the complete presentation. Is the harp ever used for healing purposes, like Reiki or some kind of? I would think that you could do energy healing with a harp.
Beautiful question. So, I have some contemporaries who have moved more into the therapeutic tonalities and possibilities of that, and so that is definitely a whole rich ministry in itself, and is very popular throughout the United States and the world. There are actually, I'm going to use the word conglomerates, if you will, of harpists who are specifically working only in the realm of healing. They're really on the ideal and not just the possibilities, the actualization of healing folks through tones and knowing which tones are actually the most powerful for healing and staying right in that resonation. I'll share this with you. Light years ago, I want to say like 1999, I was playing at a farmer's market. And for any of you who have watched me over the decades, I got my start playing at the farmer's market. And I want to say, well, I think we were in Vallejo or something, and it was getting ready to rain, and I had already set up. But since it was raining, we were going to pack up. A woman ran up to me and she says, "Oh, you're just what we need. Can you help us?" And we said, "Okay, what are we doing?" So she says, "I have a friend whose husband is very, very sick. Would you come and play for him?" I said, "Okay." We jumped in the car, followed her, said our prayers, and got to the house. This husband and wife had only been married for 5 years. The man had been stricken with cancer, and he was in those stages where the body and spirit are still connected, but it's trying to leave. So we get there, and the man had not slept in 3 weeks. The priest, who's part of that family, and the wife and one other person was sitting there, and they're praying over him. And as I shared, they had only been married for 5 years, so I played love songs for them. And all of a sudden, the man was quiet, and we thought he had left. And then he let out this huge snore. He just started snoring like he had never snored before. And I mean snoring. And everybody laughed because it was a relief to see him sleep. So we packed up and we left so that he could really, really sleep. And about a month and a half later, we got an email and they said he finally made his transition. He finally was able to sleep, and it was the first time he had slept. He made his transition, and what was said to us is we are curious if he had been able to have that tonality played for him over and over, if he might have really healed from that. So it's a beautiful question, and I thank you for asking it.
Great question. When we were doing our little sound check, you put a little Isley Brothers on. Can we hear some of that, Isley?
You so greedy. Gather every man, gather all together, celebrate your life and give thanks for your children. Gather every man, oh, and gather all together. When will there be a harvest? When will there be a harvest? When will there be a harvest for the world? When will there be a harvest? When will there be a harvest? When will there be a harvest for the world? Harvest for the world.
Yes, indeed. When will there be a harvest for the world? Destiny, something I really admire about you is the way that you and your husband, Chris, work together. Like, can you say something about you? You guys have a really wonderful partnership, and I love to witness it.
My husband and I met working together in 1997, and we didn't like each other. Thank you.
I don't believe that.
I know you don't. You don't believe it. Don't nobody believe it. We didn't like each other at all. And we had both been invited to play for Dimensions Dance Theater. Dimensions Dance Theater was their 25th anniversary, and They had invited us to come. I had been invited by way of, y'all know my sister Tarika Lewis, jazz violinist. She had invited me to come and to play with her for these little girls that are just dancing around. Well, it was Dimensions. So we walk in. They were already there, and I walk into the Scottish Rite Theater for a rehearsal. And I come in. No, they weren't there. I came in early, and I brought my harp in, and I landed it right on the stage next to the ladder. And Criswell was coming down the ladder, adjusting lights in the ceiling, and he says, "Hey, you want to get that harp away from that ladder?" And I said, "Hey, you want to watch how you talk to me?" So, so So then we went on and did the show. I didn't see him no more that day. He didn't see me. And then there was a woman who was at that celebration of Dimension's 25th anniversary. She says, "I am writing a play that is a tribute to unsung heroes. Would you be willing to be in my play?" I said, "Sure." Well, she found this sister who we know to this day has been the only Black person and Black woman to be the principal harpist for a metropolitan symphony or orchestra. And I will share with you that a principal harpist position is something that many harpists who are primarily focused in on European classical music, they want that spot because that spot is golden for them. It pays well. You know what your repertoire is going to be, yada. So she found this sister. She gave me a script that talked about her. So 3 months later, I come into the Malunga Castle Art Center for the Arts, which at that time was known as the Alice Art Center. And as I'm walking in, he's there. And we start working together again. We do the play. I have a great time being this person. This woman's name is Alice Hobson Pilot. And literally, I think she retired about 7 years ago, but she's still brought on to do master classes all over the world. And so I do my part, share her. Criswell and I start talking. We decide that we're going to work together, and then we decide we like one another. And then he proposed.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Chris, you want to say something? Is it Chris?
Yeah, I'll put me on mute, love.
Chris, is that the way you recall it? Is that the
I'm gonna see. Are we here? Am I in?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk at the same time when we're in the same room, so it'll feed back a lot of times. And yeah, that's pretty much the way it worked out. I mean, it's funny because I often laugh about the fact that and I guess I can share. Yeah. What? I'm gonna do it anyway. I've been married before. And it's really funny with Destiny because we really enjoy working together. It's crazy.
It's evident. It's evident that you guys do.
We really, I mean, we fuss, we argue, we debate, but it's that professional kind of fact finding, even about myself. I get to learn stuff about me, and so yeah, I'm having the time of my life.
Great. You guys are beautiful together. You guys are beautiful together. And listen, we have another question from Sister Akena. Go ahead.
Oh, my hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Akena, then Mama and Gina. Go ahead. Akena, are you there?
Well, she changed her mind.
I'm just always so slow when you're getting back to it. So I had a question about that absolute beautiful instrument of yours. I remember when you all came to Atlanta, and it seems like you were already on a road tour. Right. And so I just wonder if you could share with us, like, what does that take to do road tours with such a beautiful instrument of that size?
That is such a beautiful question. So, as you recall, we drove to Atlanta, which it simplified it. I'm saying that it simplifies it, but it's also the opportunity to have to drive to get to a location. The beauty of that is that we do get to drive and see the country, and we get to do multiple locations. If someone flies me in and secures the instrument there, then I can only do the dates that are brought to me by the presenter, which happens sometime. I get there, the harper's already there. I've let them know what it was. They usually have what I require. I tune it up, get a chance to talk to it, and we hit. Then I leave, or they move it to another location. However, when we drove to Atlanta, had the harp. What do we have that at that time? What car did we have at that time? Was it? We had, so we put my beautiful harp in the back of our Toyota Tacoma, drove to Atlanta, and then it allowed us to do several dates while we were there, and it also allowed folks to say, "Oh, we got something else for you to do," and it gave us that opportunity to do that. And one of the blessings was within that as well is that there's a brother who used to come here and drum on a regular. He actually had a condo there that he had purchased for his daughter, but his daughter decided to go to school in Texas. So, but he had kept the property, and so he said, "Go and stay in my condo, stay as long as you like." And so we were literally in Atlanta for almost a month, and that helped a whole lot, as you know.
That was wonderful for us.
Thank you. Wonderful.
We want
for
you
us,
back.
too. I want to come back too.
All right, Mama Ingina, go ahead.
And I just want to say, welcome, 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 darling. You know how much I love you too, because I was the one that wanted you for our anniversary. But and just the beauty of sharing, listening to your music at Malanga when you do the things, and sometimes Brother Chabi is with you, but also my questions have been answered. I wondered, I said, the next time I see her, I have to hold her hand so I can see if her fingertips are soft, because the thing that, do you use a pick or something? So are your fingertips soft?
No.
Okay, okay. But that's okay. That's okay. And the other thing was the beauty of you and your husband. I remember when you came to Wosay for another thing at Wosay, and the everything was over, and I saw all these huge speakers and everything, and it was like, "Brother Christo, don't you want help with getting this stuff to the car?" And he was like, "No, sister." He said, "It's best if I do it myself." And I was like, oh my goodness. So he does all that stuff himself. And you two are just the most, I mean, your aura when you're together is just, you blend, you absolutely blend. And love you, love you, love you. So happy. Mwah.
All right, all right.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Sister Destiny, your music is just beautiful. First of all, I want to say that, and I just thank you for it. It's so peaceful. I had a question. I saw a documentary, and I can't remember who it was on, but she was playing the harp. And then I also read an article. And is it something that you do with your feet to make the harp play? How does that work?
Oh, such a beautiful question. So at the bottom, eventually I'm going to be able to set up another camera. But at the bottom of my harp, on this particular harp, there's several styles. This particular harp is known as a semi-concert grand and or an orchestral harp. And there are 7 pedals at the bottom that allow me to change keys. So for any of you out there who play piano or are playing any instrument, the ability to change keys pretty quickly is helpful when you're playing either European orchestral music or jazz. Sometime in R&B it's required as well, and definitely in gospel, because folks like to change them keys in the middle of a song. So so the 7 pedals at the bottom, each pedal goes into 3 positions. It goes into natural, it goes into sharp, and it goes into flat. And so that's what my feet are doing at the bottom sometime when I'm changing keys to play a particular song. The two songs that I played just here recently, both were, excuse me, that first medley of song was in G7, who, and any of you who are jazz aficionados or enjoy jazz, G7 modulating between G7 and D7, G7, D7, and into a C with a sharp 4. And then the relative minor of that was the E minor. So the last two songs that I played, the Coltrane song that I wrote, and I'm trying to remember what else that I did, both of those were in E minor. And I was able to, I didn't have to do very much pedal pushing at that point, hallelujah, but it does have to happen. And I will share this, in particularly with Turia's music, because she enjoys that, what I call the pentatonic sound, or what some folks call the black keys. That in order to do that, I have to, specifically to get, for me, to get the tonality that she's looking for, what I do is I raise my C pedal to C flat and my F pedal to F flat. So right now, the C, all of the keys are in the key of C natural. Now I'm going to raise both the C, which is the red strings, and I'm going to raise the F, which are these dark blue kind of black strings. You might be able to see them. I'm going to raise them both up to C and F flat. I call this the T key of Turia. Good questions.
I have another quick question, Mama.
Yes.
How many harps do you have?
Well, 1, 2, 3. Now I only have 4 now.
Oh,
Wow.
fantastic.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It's fun.
Now, are you familiar with the group? I know you are, Hiroshima.
Yes.
And they have an instrument that's, is there a connection, or can you explain it?
Absolutely. So if I recall with Hiroshima or Hiroshima, my family is from Japan. And that particular instrument is known as a koto. And I believe that the ancestor Asa Hilliard said that the original name for the Japanese and or that Asiatic group of people was called the Hyksos, who he stated actually had a time in Kemet during the dynastic time. And if I shared with you earlier, is that folks were invited into Kemet to study the sciences, music, spirituality, and such. That included this instrument known as the harp, who the ancestor William Grant Stills wrote a piece called the Ananga, which is also one of the older names of this instrument. So going to your question, the evolution of the harp coming off of the continent, making its way into various countries. For the Japanese and or the Hyksos, that instrument is called the koto. So it is of the same family. They've chosen to elongate it and play it long with the sound, with the strings across the sound body. And so you get a different texture, tonality, although still very related. And it has these bridges on it that allow it to change keys, again, not as fast, but as quickly as it needs to for the tonalities that they were creating.
Beautiful. Sister Stajabo wants to know, how much does the harp weigh?
This particular harp weighs 85 pounds.
All right.
Mm-hmm. There are those that, I don't know if you can see my pillar, but you probably can't see it right now, but the front part of the wood of my harp is called the pillar. And that long pillar piece is made out of wood, which is hollow on the inside. So mine is only weighing about 85 pounds. When that particular portion of the harp is covered in gold, which its first overlay is plaster, and then an overlay of 23 plus karat gold, that increases the weight.
Sure. Sure, sure. Now, are you familiar with the West African instrument, the kora?
Yes, sir.
And it seems like that's connected to the harp as well.
The kora, all of those instruments are the kora, the ananga, the boulon. All of those are the ancestors. This is the youngest baby, being only about 200, 300 years old. So all those are great grandparents. We pay homage to those.
Oh, give thanks. Okay, okay. Well, listen, it is 6:12 and we're scheduled to go to 6:30. Do you have any other songs that you could play?
You're just greedy. Just greedy.
That's
Can
it,
I ask one quick question?
Yes, Brother Damani, go ahead.
Sister Destiny, yes, I'm enjoying your presentation here. Lately I've been studying music education for brain development, or the importance of music education for children. You from Atlanta, right?
No, I'm from Compton. So that's
you staying in
that's
Atlanta
West
right?
Atlanta. That's West Atlanta.
Okay, West Atlanta. Okay. What do you think about music and the importance of music education? Can you say something quick about the importance of music education?
Absolutely, sir. And I love that question. Music is a language, and it is imperative that we have that language, and it's taught as a language in our schools. When it was taken out, our children got creative and they turned and became turntablists and ventured back to what we call rap and hip hop, but we know that its older origins as of storytelling. And as I have matured, I recognize even more the importance of that language in the development, especially of our people, and learning the ways and being taught as early as possible. It's never too late, but the sooner we can get the music as the language into an individual's life, it will help them along the way, because it is that language that everyone can speak. And then also within that, also like we learn how to speak, and this is to me so important. As we learn to speak, then also pattern showing this is what you said in your instrument or in your song. We go back to ancient times, to the griot, and oh, you are so welcome. And to the griots on the continent, where they would sing the songs back and forth. Who also would do that is an ancestor, Mary Lou Williams, where there are videos of her actually, before she even passes out sheet music to anybody, she sings the tonality of what she's talking and the rhythm, and makes the students sing it back to her. That is ancient. We don't learn this way. We learn by this communication. Brother, I overheard you and the brother talking about the fathers working at Pac Bell. We kind of laugh at that, Ma Bell, but that is communication. We are all about communication, and the music is a way of communicating with one another. And so that importance of it, let's start as early as we possibly can, but let's not negate the fact if you didn't get it early, get it now. As I shared, I started at 30 playing music. I don't know if you heard that earlier, brother, but I started playing the harp at the age of 30. And both of those first teachers, Paula St. John and Stephanie Kaufman Osborne, they made me start out with the rudiments. And I remember telling one of my teachers, I said, look, she asked me, how old are you? I said, I'm 30. She said, I'm 29. I've been playing since I was 4.
Wow.
You feel me?
Wow.
She said she'd been playing since she was 4. And I said, so she hands me the music and it's Twinkle, Twinkle. I said, excuse me. I just said I was 30. She said, I don't care if you are. She said, all of my students start this way. If you don't like it, you can bounce. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. And I will tell you, 30 years later, this woman is not only still my friend, She is coming on as my coach to coach me through some things that I missed in when I left her to move up here.
Wow. Wow. So one of my favorite, now I have your, I don't know, do they still call them albums? CD?
We do.
Okay. Well, your album, Sacred Bath.
Yes.
I love I Am.
Whew. Whew.
Would you
Okay.
play I Am?
I will. I have a... For any of you who remembered me when I used to play at the Java House, I would love to be there. Let me know. For any of you who remember me when I used to play at the Java House, especially the one who was on Lakeshore, I would close out my 4-hour set at the Java House with I Am.
Wow. Wow.
I used to play at Dwayne's Spot every Friday morning. And I would close out with I Am, because it's important for me to be able to close out with a little prayer. Thank you, sister. Thank you. God bless you. To close out with a way of affirming ourselves. I am that I am. 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 Wherever you go, I'll be there. Whatever you do, I'll be there. Wherever you go, I'll be there. Whatever you do, I'm gonna be right there. Wherever you go, I'll be there. Whatever you do, I'm gonna be right there. Wherever you go, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna be right there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna be right there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Gonna be right there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna be right there. I am that I am. 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 I am that I am that I am that I am. I am that I am that I am. 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 I am. I am that 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 I am. I
Yes, indeed. I am is the name of God.
Come on.
Brother Jeff Moore writes in the chat, Sister Destiny, you filled me with KJLH.
Woo, kindness, love, joy, and happiness.
That's what he said. He says, I love your music. He said, I had 2 college roommates, both from Compton, so I've been to Atlanta West many times. Oh, give thanks and praise. We have about 8 minutes left in our segment. How can people get in touch with you if they want to get you to play at their event? How can we reach you? Why don't you put that up?
All right. Y'all know me. We fam. My phone number is 510 219. Ooh. 219-8341. 510-219-8341. You can text me. You can call me. I'll pick up as quickly as I can. I can tell you, even in the midst of the pandemic and pestilence, the blessings are large. I can say that we have been performing like this and now starting to migrate even more in person now. You can go to my website, destinymohammed.net, DESTINYMUHAMMAD.net. You can catch me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, you can catch me there. I am blessed. I'm just going in my head with public performances I have coming up. I just secured a date with Yerba Buena Gardens where I'll be playing in between some poets. And then this coming Sunday, for any of you who are in the Bay Area, I will be in San Francisco at the San Francisco Main Library, 100 Larkin Street. I will be there from 2:30 to 4 supporting the artists Devora Major and Brother Tongo Isian. I'll be supporting them with a little music. Who will kick it off will be Dr. Ayodele and Zenga. If y'all going to be in town, it's a free event being hosted by Afro Solo and the African American Center at the library. And that'll be this coming Sunday, April the 24th, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Come on through and come hear these poets spit beautifully.
Whoa. I can't wait to go. That's all right. Sister Fania, Mama Fania,
Yes.
go ahead. She has a question.
Well, not a question. As we've heard, Sister Destiny is absolutely divine with the harp.
God bless
And I also want to give a shout out to one of my favorite drummers, Leon Joyce Jr.
It's his birthday.
Oh, yeah, right. I did see that on Facebook. I love drumming. I love drumming. I love drummers. I love the sound of drumming. And he is a drummer that puts his whole body into drumming. So he's not just sitting there hitting the sticks, but his whole body is in it. And then the bassist,
yes,
Chico.
Yes.
Chico Lopez. He is dynamite also. So it's a great trio. And if you haven't seen her, if you get the chance, definitely see Destiny and her trio.
I will be with them. Thank you, Sister Fania, for that beautiful shout out. I see somebody. I'm going to holler at you in a minute, Brother Rudy. I am going to be hitting with my trio at the Hillsburg Jazz Festival, Juneteenth, June the 18th, I believe, and the 19th. I think we have another date coming up on May the 14th at the Lake Merritt United Methodist Church for a fundraiser, and we will be there. That kicks off from 1 to 2:30. We are one of about 5-6 acts, and I think that's open to the public and free as well. But I'll please text me so I can send you all that information.
Go ahead, Rudy.
Peace and greetings, my sister, Sister Destiny, and Brother Chris. Well, how y'all doing, man? I just love you.
We love you.
Thank you. I've been living in Ghana, and I'm in Atlanta right now, Sister Akina. And I just want to say, and then the questions, but I just wanted to say I love you guys, and I'm glad I got here in time. I was drilling my students, and I definitely started them out on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But I got them up to it don't mean I got them up to it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. So we working it.
He's working at 1155445.
Yes. And so I wrote a book called Music in My Life, Music in Our Lives, My Life in Music, and the people who inspired it. And yet, Sister Destiny, you are definitely in it. So anyway, that's all. Power, light, and grace, beloved. I'm just glad to see you.
Oh my gosh, we did a song together light years ago, and he featured me. Glory and grace, glory and grace.
Oh yeah, that's you're right. Yes, you're right. And so anyway, I got your number because I got another project coming up, so I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you.
What I tell y'all about the blessings? What I tell you?
This is so wonderful. What a wonderful session today that we've experienced. Destiny, our governor emeritus, educational chair emeritus, songwriter, awardee. It's just been outstanding, an upliftment for us all. Thank you all for the questions. Thank you, Brother Chriswell, for dropping in and sharing your thoughts too. And Sister Destiny, glory and grace, to you. We've actually recorded Rudy, glory and grace, and what's the other one, Rudy?
Seeking Reality.
Seeking Reality.
Yeah.
Seeking Reality. So we love those songs. Those are in the top 10 of Wolsey community. So give thanks and praise. All right, you want to close us out with something like what is that? The Spiritual Bath, Sacred Bath? Is that the name of the song? Am I saying it right?
It's been a long time since I played that. Ooh, it's been
I mean, play what you feel like.
Beautiful.
You know what? I did have another song on here.
I don't think I've played anything off of that.
That's all right. That's all right. How about Walking on Water?
Woo! Woo! I walk this earth on so many days, looking back at yesterday, searching for a brighter tomorrow. I'm a church-born child, traveling country miles, red dirt in my hair. Knew one day it's gonna be Sunday. I'd be walking on water on Sunday, walking on water on Sunday. I'm gonna be walking on water on Sunday, on water, child. Time went on and I grew strong. I fell in love and we joined hands together forever. Two became a family, rich in love and jubilee. I knew one day it's gonna be Sunday. I'd be walking on water on Sunday, walking on water on Sunday. I'm gonna be walking on water on Sunday, on water, child. Got a call from on high. Lord said it's time to take a new journey. By the time you get to me, it's gonna be Sunday morning. I got a call from on high. Lord said it's time to take a new journey. By the time you get to me, it's gonna be Sunday. What they said so many days, looking back at yesterday, searching for a brighter tomorrow. I am a church-born child, traveling country miles, red dirt in my hair. I knew it's gonna be Sunday. It's gonna be Sunday. It's gonna be Sunday. Oh, Sunday morning, child. It's gonna be Sunday. I'm walking on water Sunday. Walk on a water Sunday. I'm gonna walk on water Sunday. Sunday, Sunday.
Type Ashe in the chat if you love that one. Type Ashe in the chat. Give thanks and praise for that. I want to thank Sister Destiny and Brother Chris for joining us today. Also, Brother Amadi has put in our chat a Pan-African Film Festival. Oh, the things are, okay. I asked for that, so I'm going to. Pan-African Film Festival, April 19th through May 1st. It's in LA, but there's a virtual element, and you can go to www.paff.org to see the list and schedule for the films. Give thanks. Tomorrow night on this very channel, we're going to be doing a study of sacred scriptures. So we're going to do this the first and third Thursday of the month. Tomorrow will be our first time. So we're going to be doing a study of sacred scriptures. We're going to be looking at different bibliographies that can help us. We're going to look at a glossary of terms. Some of you may not even know what netter means. We're going to have study questions. We're going to do some journaling. So if you can join us tomorrow at 6, and we're just going to be an hour. We're just going to look at some sacred scriptures and pray. That's what we're going to be doing. So that's the first and third Thursday of the month. If you'd like to join us, thank you again, Sister Destiny. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Just a couple of more, just a little bit more, Destiny, to close us out as we end. Give thanks.
What is the Zoom link for the event tomorrow?
It is this same one, Black Knowledge Matters.
Black Knowledge, okay.
Mm-hmm. Glad to see Sister Jabez with us tonight too.
Sister Destiny.
Destiny's on mute.
Destiny, you're on mute.
Ooh,
Gotta get off that. There you go. 6 o'clock tomorrow, Tony. 6 o'clock tomorrow. So that's Pacific time. And Tony and Sugar D and Judy, if you could remain with us as everybody leaves. Thanks for coming, Henry. Isata, Mama Rose, Bobby, Amin, Amadi, Rudy, Kalahari, Jeff, Michelle. Love to see everyone. Somebody didn't name themselves Google Pixel for whoever that is. Glad you could join us. The grandbaby's getting some of that too. All right, you all. See you next time. Give thanks. This has been a glorious. Each one is special, but this one has been really
Beautiful.
glorious.
Absolutely beautiful.
Kindness,
Thank
joy,
you,
love,
Sister
and
Muhammad.
happiness.
Yes.
Thank you, sister,
Thank you.
Destiny.
for
Thank you
sharing
all
your
so
gift.
Everybody.
much.
The
Ashe.
Thank you all
spirit
so
has been
much.
wonderful.
Ashe,
Thank you
Asheo.
so much. Yo.
Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you,
Thank
Sister
you all.
Destiny.
Thank you, Sister Destiny.
Thank you all for having me.
It's our
Anytime.
pleasure.
Ashe.
Our pleasure.
Anytime.
She said anytime.
All right,
Anytime.
Chris. Big up. Big
That's
up.
nice, Donna. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you all.
Thanks. Good thanks.
Okay, everybody.
All right, we're just gonna have like a brief meeting. Sugar D, Tony, Judy, and see y'all next time.
All right.
All right, one love.
One love.
Bye-bye, honey. Blessings.
Melanie,
Uncle Jobson.
what are you looking at?
Spirit in health. See you, Arcana. Mom and Gina. All right. Okay. So, you know, I want to thank everybody for putting their, you know, their contributions to what we're going to call Thursday. Each one is you know, is good. Judy put a lot of them out there, and you know, Doris came up with this one, and I think it can be kind of catchy. I'm talking about my wife, Doris, and that is study of sacred scriptures, SOS. You know, just study of sacred scriptures. If we want to, you know, make some kind of you know, trademark or emblem, you know, we can do that. Okay. And you know, I was talking with Judy yesterday, and she hated all my ideas, and no, I'm just kidding. But but so, you know, so these are some of the things that we'd like to include for this, and you know, feel free to jump in, but have a bibliography. You know, there are a lot of things, a lot of books that we use. Well, so we have 4 main holy books, but we look at Dr. Asa Hilliard, we look at J.A. Rogers, we look at Dr. Ben. And so we're going to put together a bibliography list of books. Also, a glossary of terms. You know, because we use a lot of terms that may not be familiar with a lot of people, you know. And then so I was when I was talking to Judy, she was saying that her and Sugar D was saying that we should have like some homework or like some study questions. So we're going to try to have like 3 study questions, 2 to 3 study questions, you know, for every session. And then try to give things, you know, like a background of you know, whatever we're going to talk about. So if we're using 2000 seasons and whatever particular part, we're going to, you know, kind of give a little background or context to it. And then also, what do you think about this journaling? You know, having a journal and maybe even have a you know, like a Wolsey journal, and put like a Wolsey emblem on the journal. You know, just, you know, it'll just be a blank book, but on the outside it'll have, you know, this is kind of like, you know, down the line a little bit. But so those are just some of the things that you know, I just think that the Thursday thing is important. We need to study. We need to pray. We you know, we need to get together like that.
Yes, we do.
And so that's the point of Thursday. That's the point of Thursday. So
And we need to let people know that's the point of Thursday,
yes,
so
yes.
that they would know that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we're starting tomorrow, am I correct?
We're starting tomorrow at
You got it all together?
Yeah, at 6, at 9 for some people.
Yeah, 9 for
you,
me and Sister Judy, and
for all 3 of you.
8 for Sister Tony. But that's okay. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
Okay. So just try to go an hour. First and third Thursday. So it's just, because we're meeting all the time. We got First Friday. We got Black Knowledge Matters. We're in our various meetings. New members is coming up, etc. So we don't want to burn people out like this. So what do you guys think? I'm open to suggestions. And I see Mom and Gina has stayed with us. So if you want to say something, Gina, you can as well.
Well, I think, and Sister Judy and I talked a long time ago, and we even talked to you about, hey, we need somebody, we need teaching. We need we want, and that's encouraging to, have something so people will go out and research and do it, because we have gotten out of that. Some of us have gotten out of reading and researching and doing what we need to do, doing those things. And that's very important, and it's critical even right now because of these times and what's going on. So I think it's a great idea, and I can see it getting bigger. That it's going to be, that we're going to have many other teachers.
And I just have to say, you guys, I'm so sorry. I have been trying to get off and could not even turn my phone off. I couldn't even get off. But what you're doing sounds wonderful. It sounds good. And taking into consideration what Baba said is not to overwhelm people. We don't want to be like them old Christians that had to go to church Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, but it sounds wonderful. And I hope I can get off now.
Let me see if I can. I think I can. I can remove you. Let's see. Let me try it. Okay. See ya.
Okay.
All right.
Have a comment, but I want to wait and hear what Tony. I'm always talking.
Go ahead, Tony.
I think it's a great idea. In particular, I like the idea of the journal, because I'm always writing, and taking my notes, even though I know I can go back and listen and take more notes. But there's always something the second time around that you might have missed. And so I really like the idea of the journal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I also like the idea of being able to ask questions. So one of my questions to you is, are we asking questions during the session, or do we come back and ask questions? Do we put it in the chat?
Both, all of the above, all of the above. So,
but depending on the dynamics,
I'm getting better to looking at things in the chat, and if you have questions, I'll try to provide, enough context. I'm starting it out, but we're going to have other people that are going to be leading it, and, but I just think it's needed. I want you to know that we're listening to you, and trying to fulfill a need that is that we need to address. So
yes, and because like Sister Sawasati said in her meditation, repetition is important, and that's how it sits with you. It becomes a part of your whole spirit and soul and everything when you keep hearing it over and over again. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to that, because one of the questions, and I'm going to give it to you now so you can think about it.
Yes.
I'm interested in knowing why Wose selected Ra. I haven't heard enough about Ra to really understand, because I know that so many religions have, Yah and Ra, Yoshia, Jesus. So I'm interested in knowing why Ra. Because
Let me
I've been
try to-
trying to find that, but
Let me
can't
try to
find it.
answer that now, because
Okay.
you know,
Good question.
my last message had to do with, it's all about the sun, moon, and stars.
Right.
So Ra is a phase of the sun. So when the sun rises, it's Keper, the bringer into being.
Mm.
And then at kind of like noon, it's Ra, the Most High. And then as you go on further, and we don't mention these words, but okay, so it's Un. Un is represented as an elder, but not it's a grown person. Okay, and then after Un, it's Atan, which is a more of an elder. And the Per-Ah, or Pharaoh Akhenaten, he focused on the Atan. And then Amen is when the sun sets, because Amen means hidden. So that's really what it is focusing on. So we're going to address those things. So like when we talk about the Neteru, which is the plural for netter, there are 360 Neteru, but those also correspond to things in the human body. There's a phrase that Minister Calhoun was one of the co-founders of WOSE. He says, gods are immortal men, and men and women are mortal gods. In the Bible, it says, it's in Psalm 68:18, I think it is, for ye are gods. In John, I think it is, they're getting ready to stone Jesus. And he says, hey, wait, I just performed some miracles. Which one didn't you like? Why are you getting ready to stone me? And he said, and the people said, oh, we love the miracles, but what we didn't like is that you, a mere man, claim to be God. And then that's when he refers back to Psalm 68. He said, doesn't it say in your writings, for ye are gods? And it's speaking to the divinity within each person. Each person has a divine aspect, and we'll try to address that in some of our sessions. So that's, I hope that answers your question. And most people join Amen, Ra together, but really it's the aspects of the sun. It's really the aspects of the sun. So the sun is very important in our lives. Try to live without it. So and actually Holy Bible comes from Helios Biblos, sun book. All right. Hope I answered that question. I want to, sometimes I know I can go around the pole and not get to your question.
Okay. I would like to say,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have background noise. I am babysitting and the only one here. I was going to say, I think that we ought to have some structure to it as far as defining what it is, what this event is. Like, this is that, so that it has something to refer to. And, is this going to be sort of the first of this particular event, this very first time that we're creating this ministry?
Yeah. So when you say that makes me think of Kujichagulia, which is the second principle to define, name, create, and speak for ourselves. So that's a good thing. So that's why I was saying okay, when we were talking yesterday, Judy, study of the sacred scriptures. That I mean that's and everybody.
I like that SOS.
Yeah, everybody gave some really good examples, and I don't want to. I don't
Right,
want
and
to
I
minimize.
misunderstood what the examples was supposed to be. So my stuff was kind of offbeat, I think.
No,
but I like
it wasn't.
SOS.
No, it
love
wasn't. And Tony's was good, and Judy, you know, all of those that responded. I think the only one that's missing. Usually he's with us. I feel like I need to call him. Is Katabasi. But
he must be something. Some must be up because he wasn't there tonight either.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like I need to call him because
yeah, you do.
He's working on his taxes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember, he said he was going to be focusing
that's
on
right.
that.
He did say that.
Yeah, got to do that.
And just to interrupt real quick, somebody that I'm concerned with is John's brother, Baba John. I haven't seen him since the poetry. I didn't even see him the next day, that Sunday. So
okay, I'm going to call him. But do you have his number?
I do not, because I don't.
Let me.
I have his email address, but that's.
Let me give it to you.
Okay, because I want to check on him because he's missing. I'm ready.
Hold tight. I hear you, Judy, on the structure, and you know, I just wanted to hurry up and get it started. You know, so his number, his cell number is 916. 896 4982.
4982. That's Baba John Jackson.
Yes, and you know what? I have his home, but one of the numbers is cut off. So
I'll hit him up on his. I think I hit him up on his email one time before when I asked him about
his email is BEREANBRO2@gmail.com.
Okay, that's BEREANBRO, the number 2@gmail.com.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, I'm gonna check on him. He lives where? Does he live in California?
Yeah, he lives in Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives in Sacramento, and well, kind of Sacramento. I think he lives in Rancho Cordova.
He lives in California. You know, I'm thinking about the time zone.
Yeah. So it's 7. It's almost 7 now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna holler at him.
I don't know if we can do the structure now, but if we have some suggestions for that, but I just wanted to get it started. You know, and the next time.
I think it's good. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be done before tomorrow night, I don't think, because you're just kind of testing some things. And maybe we can kind of talk about a little bit of it now, but while my granddaughter's drinking milk, I finally talk. One of the things I wanted to say, for me personally, we're only going to have an hour. I was excited when I got the impression of what you wanted to do, Minister Imhotep. I like the idea of us studying a variety of sacred texts, African texts, Black writing, things of that nature. And I also think I like the idea of the writing part too, where we journal and we get ideas. I don't particularly care for the prayer part. I'm not really wanting to spend the hour because that could, you know, we could have some long prayers at service that go on and on sometimes with everybody's personal prayer. I think it could be nice to have an opening prayer or a closing prayer, not too long, just to kind of set the tone. This is just my thoughts, you guys, you ladies and gentlemen. And I was thinking, I like what Tony said. Instead of prayer, I like the idea of meditation, like maybe, and I don't know, this is just a thought that came to my mind. Maybe we would every week read or every Thursday, whenever we meet, read a passage, a sacred passage. And then perhaps after we hear it, there's a meditation and some music or something for us to think about it for a minute. Or that could be the closing thing, is that we go out with a passage, so that gives us time over our week as an assignment to expand our thoughts, questions we may have, research we may want to do on those passages, or just see how it inspires us, ancient texts, to now in sacred text to write some creative or what we get out of it now from our Wose experience and where we are in life now spiritually. So I was thinking that might be
Okay, I
good
like that.
to entertain what Tony's saying about meditation, and maybe even we could have 2 passages, or I don't know how many, but you know, something where we hear, then we have a moment of silence where we kind of like Jeopardy, dun, 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 dun. We think for a minute and then, you know, we resonate on it and then come back and talk about it. But I like the prayer part.
Well, like just for instance, and Minister Makalisi surprisingly has joined us. I'm glad that he's on here.
Greetings, Minister Makalisi.
Well, I'm not against the prayer part, but we don't want it, you know, it to be an open thing and everybody prays. I do think it's important for us to have prayer and maybe know how to pray, or, you know, how do we pray to Amun Ra? I hear some people say, oh, Holy Mother, Father, you know, they do Mother, Father, and some say Father, some say He, some say, in some, only a few to say He, She, or something like that. So it would be important to know how that's being thought of, you know, talk about prayer, at least address it.
You know what, I sent,
you know, that could be a lesson. That could be one of the lessons, one of the themes of that.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to be the whole, always we're praying every, I think that's not going to catch everybody like you want.
So what I did for this, you know, just thinking about it. So I keep in touch with my friend in Kemet. He was one of the tour guides. And I wrote to him because I sent him like 9 glyphs for prayer. And I said, hey, which one is the one for prayer? And he wrote me back and he said, greetings. Every word has a different meaning for prayer. And so he gave the examples. He says, in high or in het means praying as reciting words. Seneb is prayer for the statue in a shrine. He said, but the best one is dua, as worship, praise, open communication with the universe, the stars, the doorway to the realm of the divine. And so then I wrote back to him, because when I see dua, and I'm going to have a PowerPoint tomorrow, you know, I'm just kind of talking now. When I see dua, it's DWA, and that's what people that are in the Kemetic community, they usually say as thank you. So I wrote back, I said, is it interchangeable for prayer and thank you? And he wrote back and he says, dua as thanks, yes, but it's written a different way. And the way it's written, it means praise God.
And so what way was that?
DWA.
DWA.
It's DWA, dua. But the glyphs are a little different. It means to praise God, to thank God. And so I know what you mean when you say, okay, yeah, you can go around a circle prayer and you look around, it's 45 minutes. You know, as a matter of fact, when we used to meet in person, we would just designate 1 or 2 people because, you know, but like today, you saw Stajabo there. Stajabo used to have big, full locks, but she's going through chemo now. You know, and so when I see Stajabu, and if we're having like, you know, scriptures and study of sacred scriptures, I just want to take a moment to pray for her.
Right.
You know, and not I'm not saying you know what was suggested isn't a good idea because I wrote those down. But I think that we should have some prayer sometime. What I'm envisioning is reading a scripture, having a prayer, and then discussing that scripture. What is the background of it? What does it mean? You know, what was the context? Because there's just as an example, in the book of Dialogue with the Soul, he says, death to me today is like health to the ill, like coming out of doors out of confinement. You know, death to me is like a well-trodden way, like a person discovering that which was known. And when you read that, like I read that at homegoings or funerals, but really the context of that is, this is a person contemplating suicide. You know, and so I would explain what's going on in that, because the next one is saying, surely one who reaches the beyond, you know, will become like a living netter. You know, surely one who reaches the beyond, and then you know, because he's having a dialogue with his ba, or his soul. You know, hey, cast aside your thoughts of death, and you know, when your body joins the earth, then you can kind of, you know, but love me, your soul, now on earth, you know. So that's just an example. We might not, we probably won't talk about it tomorrow, but you know, that's just an example. Each scripture has a history, a context. Sometimes when you just see the words, you know, it could have several meanings, just like anything.
Yep.
You know, so
also, I say, if you feel like praying for somebody, like you said, you saw her today, I say you go with that.
Yeah.
What the Spirit is telling you to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for that.
You know, and I don't know what's going on in Virginia or Atlanta or Texas, but here in Sacramento, no, actually it was in Stockton, which is a city about 45 minutes away. A brother at 53 years old came on a high school campus and stabbed a 15-year-old Hispanic girl.
Right.
You know, I mean, we need prayer. You know, I went to DC once, and people were afraid for me, and they were telling me don't go. Well, yeah, that was happening, but you know what? It was just a lot of killings. It was just a lot of shootings. And my uncle, who, you know, he's just like a few years older than me. He's actually like a brother more than an uncle. And he was like, he said, man, you know what? It's like something's in the water. You know, and so sometimes I think we need prayer just for that.
Yeah.
You know, just come together for that, because we're a spiritual organization, and so you know,
we're spiritual people too.
We're spiritual people. We need to. Makalisi, did you mean to come on?
Well, excuse me. I knew I thought I was late for the Destiny Mohammed.
You're totally late for that, man. Yeah. That's. But we'll send you that. But we're just kind of meeting to kind of go over what we're going to do for tomorrow. That's what you walked into. That's what you're hearing. Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate being greeted, and I didn't return because the conversation was rolling on. The greetings to each and all of you. I would just like to say, Asante. I would just like to say, you know, I agree with the points that Judy was raising, and maybe others were agreeing with it, that we don't want a session you sit down and waiting for everybody to pray. And you know, you might, you know, if you have an opening prayer and a closing prayer, you would, you know, select someone to do that. Maybe give people a chance as the weeks go on. You want to do the opening, you can do the closing, and we're going to do the study and the interaction, the reading in the middle. But yeah, turn the prayer over and give everybody a chance to pray. It's like, oh my goodness. And that's good that folks have, that desire to pray, but you can pray when you're at home, alone, or while the prayer is being given by whoever's doing it orally, verbally, so you can pray within yourself. But not to have 10, 12, 15 people pray.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. You're going to say.
I think it's good to at least open and close with prayer to set the tone and to give us something as we leave the session. And the thing about teaching us to pray, I think that's a good idea, Sugar D. Just, it shouldn't be robotic.
Right.
Teaching to pray, but not robotic. You know what I'm saying? Every time you open your mouth and pray, it's going to be the exact same role. There's a way to pray, to open up your prayer and, to give thanks and then to close it, but not to be robotic.
I agree.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask you, Minister Imhotep, when we're studying our scriptures, our sacred scriptures, I've been blessed because I think I just about have all of them now, but some people may not have them. So when you say we're studying, are you providing a PDF version so people can go away and actually have something to reference later on?
That's a good idea.
That's a good, yeah.
Well, there's a PDF for 3. So there's a Hosea PDF. There is a Stolen Legacy PDF, and there's a Destruction of Black Civilization PDF, but there is not one for 2000 Seasons. That's act and if I was going to use some things from 2000 Seasons, I would provide them. I would have them to put in the chat. Now I'm not.
Pardon me, Minister Imhotep. I believe I have a PDF for 2000 Seasons that I think Bill gave. I think.
If you do, that is one of the most valuable.
I think Judy gave me that one too. I think Judy gave it to me, that Bill. So I'll look as well. I think so.
Yeah, I think so. It may not be the full. It may not. I don't know if it's in its entirety, but I believe it is.
Send that to me if you can.
I'll look for it when we get off.
What I was
also
going to,
about. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Back to prayer real quick. I don't see anything wrong with, because I know there are prayers in the Hosea also.
Yes.
So it's to me, it's nothing wrong with picking out one of those and we talk about that as well. I know that's considered scripture, but
yes, it's all
right. I think that if we do talk about prayer too, that would be another way to do it, would be to have a prayer and discuss it on what that prayer means. So we could also fold that in as well.
Now, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I have a it's a CD out there, but it's a virtual, and it's called Authoritative Utterance and Exceptional Insight. You can buy it on Amazon, but I also want to let you know that each one, I think there's like 7 songs, and they're not songs, they're actually readings from our holy books.
So what's the name of it?
It's called Authoritative Utterance.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
And Exceptional Insight. And you know what? My wife
I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, and you can go to YouTube.
Okay.
And just type in Authoritative Utterance.
Okay, will do.
And let me just
I'll check that out.
let me
While you're looking, Minister Imhotep, I missed a tad bit of what Minister Makalisi was saying about the prayer. I think I got the gist of it, and I think he was saying something that I agree with about, just not having so many people praying at one time. I think that's what he said. I was
he agreed with us totally. He agreed with us totally that the first, the beginning and in the end.
Well, the only thing is, I was also thinking that it could be the order that you mentioned was the scripture, and then listen to a scripture and then say a prayer. But I'm thinking, this is just a thought, and I'm only giving my ideas and my suggestion, is that people, because of the hour of the day,
yes,
it starts at 6 o'clock, correct, in California, and that's the bulk. The bulk of, pardon me, the bulk of the people that are attending are going to be Californians more than likely. So, okay. So I was thinking maybe, because it's kind of like the end of the day, you all do a lot of things at 5 and 6 o'clock, which is unheard of in Atlanta. We don't start events until 7. But I was thinking to set the tone, because it's kind of a hustle and bustle. Maybe a lot of retired people will be the only ones that really will be the ones coming. But maybe to set the tone into this event, maybe at first there could be some kind of music to kind of get everybody into this tone of this sacred session. And it could only be, just maybe a minute of music, or organ music, African drumming, whatever it be.
Well, see, that's what, just.
And then that would precede the prayer. Once you've gotten the tone and everybody's kind of quieted down, that we have a routine order, and then the prayer, the opening prayer, covers it could be different prayers from different texts or whatever, but whatever it be a prayer that covers everybody. It doesn't have to necessarily have to be for anybody specifically going through any particular.
I like
unless
it.
You want to, unless it's a special situation.
Well, I like it, and what I plan to do, like tomorrow, I plan to open up with one of the things that are on my
slideshow, one of your PowerPoint.
Well, no, I was going to play one of my songs, which is actually what we believe and what we practice.
That pocket that was here, that huge pocket.
I love that one. I've heard one of those. Is that part of the utterance?
Yeah. So let me see if I can share this, just to give you an idea. And I want to let you guys know, I feel really funny about this because it seems kind of self-serving, but this is the reason why I did this.
It's the Imhotep.
We'll say Community Church is a community of the way. The way is Mott, truth, justice, and righteousness. We believe the teachings of our elders and our ancestors that the Creator God created the universe and placed inside each of us a part of the divine spirit. God living in us and through us has given to us.
Okay, you got the idea.
He put it in the chat the other day and had everybody. Yeah, so I have that. Yeah,
okay.
that was good.
Well,
that is good.
Well, there's one that has a 2,000 seasons, like the last paragraph in 2,000 seasons, there's no beauty but in relationships. There's some others from the Hosea, there's some from, so we might open up with something like that. Makalisi has Makalisi, do you still have that? I think you really need to digitize. Makalisi had this, actually I got the idea from him. And he had like readings from the Hosea where he was reading over songs by Wes Montgomery. Yeah. Do you still have that, Makalisi?
Yes, I do. I do.
You know what? We need to digitize it. Is there any way that you can play that on the screen?
Well, I guess so. I guess I can learn how to do that. It covers pretty much the entirety of the Hosea, pretty much. And I have it on with the four CD discs.
We need to like get it in a like so it could be on YouTube or a link that we could play in this chat. And I think a person that could help you with that would be either Bill or Jeff, because was those kind of things, like even opening up our service, some of those is good, you know. So anyway, I'm not going to
communicate with him and see what we can do.
Okay, it's 7:17, and I know it's 10 o'clock for everybody, but me. But I
and Tony.
And Tony.
But before you go, Minister Imhotep, I would, you know, this is your baby. This is what we were talking about last night. You gave birth to this. This is your idea. So, you know, you need to flow. I'm sure Spirit and Amun Ra and all came to you and kind of set you on a direction for how this should go. But I do think that after we go through tomorrow, that we still may want to.
We absolutely do.
We want to tweak it some more and look at it. Yeah, get feedback.
We
do.
do.
Y'all to do the feedback.
Not even feedback, but also some structure. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
Because and the reason I say that is because that's the one thing that I think. Hey, Koran, you come on your way. I'm on a call. All right, see you soon. She's asleep. I'm sorry. So I just think, that one of the things that would make things better, including our Black Knowledge Matters, we just need to structure it just a little bit, because the opening is so beautiful. And and we need to really know what this event is going to be, because I'm thinking based on what you're sharing, it really needs to be more than an hour, like an hour and a half, to make, if we're really going to get out of it what you're trying.
You know what? The reason why I said an hour is because I don't want it to be, too much, and that's why I only have it 2 times a month. That's and if we, and as we're going and we all see, hey, we need to do this more, then we will. But I just think initially, what dear? Where you go? Okay. See my wife. I think
more than an hour.
See my wife in the background there.
Have
you guys ever seen her? Have you ever met her before? Here she comes.
Okay.
She get to meet the other sister Doris.
Yeah.
How are you, sister Doris?
That's Sugar D, that's Tony, that's Judy, and Minister Makalisi.
Wow.
She is beautiful. Put that face up there so I can see that smile. Oh wow. All right.
It's us retirees bumbling around the house.
I know we keep him and still him. Everybody's pulling him in every direction. I bet it's fun being a preacher's wife, right? Oh my God, everybody needs to talk to him.
All right, Makalisi will be quiet on that one.
We thank you for sharing him, for sure.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Doris, that means he raises his head up from the book for a few minutes.
We like your Sister Doris. We like your idea, SOS. That's a nice title and catchy and definitely good. And what I was suggesting to Minister Imhotep, if he's going to only do it twice a month, or at least now, you might as well go on and do it an hour and a half. People who can't stay just can't, because by the time
I think one of the things in listening to, they say all a part of it is listening to the people and giving back what they say, your comments, is that if we start out with the hour, then that means people will get on time, because they know it's only an hour. We can definitely go over that time, but I think if we start out and try to be efficient, we have, order, with it being orderly, that will help, and that we're not restricted. Well, we've got to stop at, an hour because we've got to get out the building or something of that sort. So we can go longer, so we can do that as extended, but I would assume an hour and 15 minutes is what it's really going to do, and then go from there and be efficient with everybody. And those that work long hours, that day at work and everything, it still has something to leave and build off of for themselves. Is the thought.
I love to see the manager come in.
I'll just leave it.
You know, Sister Doris, we know the women. Hey, you know what you know.
Yeah, but I think if you have the order, this is what it's going to be. If people are like, oh, I'm going to miss it. It's like me this morning. I got up to go to my aqua spin class. I'm like, that one, it takes more time to get on the bike in the water. And if I'm late, then you're going to be on time.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to do an hour. Yeah, we start out an hour and then we have to expand it. Because you're right, Minister Imhotep, we don't want to burn people out. We already rolling with other stuff. So
we want to fill them, and they're like, it's like, company comes, you're glad to see him, and you're glad to see him go, kind of, so you want to still enjoy it, So
and you know what?
The right amount,
But if you guys ever came, we wouldn't be like it.
But I think the other thing too is it puts it back on individuals to go and study and go within themselves and then come back with questions. So that next time you have a time period after a couple of sessions, you can say, we're going to have 10 or 15 minutes of questions, submit that ahead of time, put in the chat, and you can spend time on that. And so it won't be for everybody. Oh, I want to listen to me. I want to talk, but you can study it and they can bring it, put in the chat. And then afterwards you can do 20 or 30 minutes on answering questions, I think would be the way that you get people, because how you have an agenda.
I'm leaving. You guys can
like you have an agenda and it's one way, and then it's productive 2 ways. Nobody's dominating and taking over, and you can achieve your goals. And building the people and everybody studying, then they'll have questions and other people's questions will, cause others to study. And that's what we want. We don't want to be dependent on one person. We want to use them as the fertilizer, to grow.
Thank you, dear, for that.
Thank you.
Now we know.
It sounds like you already discussed it. It sounds like you already got it going on over there. You already discussed it.
So I kind of put the piece of paper in front of him on the sidelines here, He says, what did I say? What do I want?
That's right.
Sister Doris, now we're seeing, you have this like the Wizard of Oz and the curtain was pulled up. Now
that's right. That's what happened. Yeah.
Oh my God. Minister Emma, it was really Sister Doris.
Well, we already knew that
all
anyway.
along, yeah.
We already knew that already. We already knew behind what's behind a great man is what? A greater woman. A greater woman.
Not behind. Beside a great man.
It's like you haven't seen Sister Mary, but Minister Makalisi's wife, Mary, when you would see her at church, and she would, a little tiny frame woman, and when she'd give you a hug,
she would align your spine.
Yeah, it radiates so much energy and power, and I know that's where he gets his source of power as well.
Right.
Well, we appreciate it. Well, I think that's even, if we only have it an hour, that's even more the reason, Minister Imhotep and Sister Dar, we need to make sure we have a structure and just know exactly what we're doing so we can make it and know what our assignments and just what the whole format is, so people
I'll
know.
Help it with the outline and a time,
Right.
Yeah, you guys don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, you make it look so.
And then afterwards we could talk it. We could see what we need to tweak then.
Yeah,
that'll work.
One of the things we have to do is make sure everybody operates on CP time.
Oh yeah.
Competent.
That's what we always
people,
operate on.
Competent people's
time.
Exactly.
Competent
and then
people's
you have
time.
Well, show up, when you sit up there and say, okay, this should be at 7 o'clock, this should be 7:07. That's what you're going to look at if you set those goals. That's how you meet them. If you don't set that goal, then you're just all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, there you have it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we got it.
Aren't you glad she joined us?
Mr. Doris, thank you. Wow. I should have known.
Okay, now the
kidding.
secret has been revealed. Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. The yin and the yang. It
That's
makes
true.
balance.
Yeah.
It's the whole one without the other. Well, Minister, I have a quickie question. Your songs that are on the I can never say the name, utterance. That is how many minutes typically are they about?
Oh, they're like about They're like about 5 minutes.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
We
but
will
you know what? So I start
tomorrow,
out.
right?
I start out with the reading, and then there's music afterwards. So you know, there's instrumental, and some friends of mine. We went in the studio and we did. That's original music. All of that's original music, but it's really based upon, and I want Makalisi to do this. It's really based upon what Makalisi did a long time ago with a cassette tape, you know, Wes Montgomery, and if you could send that to Jeff and have him to make MP4s, I think people would really get a lot out of it. So that's
right. I will do that.
All right.
So quick question. The basic thing, this is basically for a better word, Bible study.
This is, but
I mean, this is kind of the premise. We're going to have a passage, a lesson for the day.
Uh-huh.
All right, lesson, you know, a couple of passages that will be the lesson for the day, and then.
Yeah, it will be passages, it will be explanation, and it'll be Q&A, you know, things that you don't necessarily get on a Sunday, you know.
So do you think, this real quick, do you think perhaps you'll mention what the passages will be for the next week? So that way maybe then that would be what we could do.
I'll do that. I will.
And that's just a way to try it, you know.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
I'm through talking.
No. I'm glad that you guys are so. I'm just glad that you guys are with us. Really am. It just makes us better, and so that's, you know. I heard Kwame Ture say this a long time ago. He says the job of the leader is to observe the people's movement and to scientifically give back to the people their movement. So you all have kind of raised this, and so that's what this is about. But you're helping to shape it, and I think when we look back a couple of months, you know, this is a good start, and we can really make something out of this. This be good.
You're the gardener. You've created us. We are a seed, and we're your little seeds and plants. We're just feeding off of your nourishment.
You know, my friend Fami, he came on one time and he said, I asked him about Kemet. He said, I asked the Nubian elders, where did Kemet come from? And he said, they told him it comes from the Black Mother. He said that Kemet means the Black Mother. And then he sent me a glyph with a queen, and she had the charcoal, which is the KMT, on her head. So that's what you all are. Really, you guys are the Black Mother. You guys are, you know, Wose means, you know, another is the Mother Church, you know. So you all, and someone asked, you know, well, how do you pray? And you know, we used to say Heavenly Father, but there's a duality, there's an aspect, there's a father part and there's a mother part. So that's why in my personal prayers, I say Heavenly Father, Divine Mother. And that's what that represents. All right.
In the book of Rising Like Ra, page 106, passage number 3. Oh, my heart, my mother, my heart,
my mother,
my heart, whereby I come into being.
Yes.
You know, and goes on praising the role of mother.
Yes.
And I remember somewhere, I need to go back and read it more thoroughly and understand it more thoroughly. They talk about what a mother gives to her child with the first taste of nourishment from breastfeeding. And so we have the role of mother, our women, is just extremely important.
Extremely.
Extremely important.
Yes. I mean, that's not to big you guys up, but that's just the truth. That's just the truth.
And
All right.
As long as we feel in truth, we own it.
All right. Well,
what it's about.
Okay, let's put our hands in tomorrow. All right.
See ya.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
I love your idea.
Have a good night.
Love everyone. Thanks for joining us, Makalisi. It was a mistake, but I'm glad you came. All right.
So glad you
Yeah.
came.
Yeah, Minister Makalisi.
Hey, Bob, wait a minute. Baba Masalisi. How do I say your name?
Makalisi.
Where do you live in Virginia?
In Amelia, Virginia. It's about 40 miles southwest of Richmond.
Really? That close to me?
Close
I live in Hampton. Yeah, I'm I used to live in Richmond, and I'm an hour away from Richmond. I just wanted to know. I was just wondering.
Oh, shit, yes.
Yeah,
I got a nephew who went to Hampton.
Hampton University. Okay.
Yes.
I'm around the corner.
My son graduated and his wife from Hampton.
Yeah.
Hamptonians.
You know what? Doris's aunt is buried under some heritage tree on the Hampton campus.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
You need to get me her name so I can go check it out.
What's Aunt Lacey's name? Dr. Lacey Del Bell.
Okay.
Dr. Lacey Del Bell.
I'm gonna check it out. I may send you a picture.
All right. Yeah, I've never been. All right. Live up.
All right, live up.
See y'all.
Uncle
Thank
Johnson.
you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Great job.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Live up.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Teamwork. See you all.
Good night.
Good night.